How are you, Coach? You there?
I'm good, Rich. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited.
I gotta agree with you. I gotta understand it, but hey, this year, maybe you got a chance this year. I mean, it's been 1 out of 7 or 8, hasn't it? So
yeah. It's okay.
I'm tired of your wife and kids having to wear Spartan gear.
See, you're a family man.
I love you, and I watch your show all the time. So.
I love you too, Coach. I really do, and I could not be more excited for you. This is so great. What's going through your mind, coursing through your veins right now as you're getting set for basketball, Naismith immortality, Coach?
Well, it's been, as I said, it's been surreal. It's been, it's one of those things that you don't dream about because you don't figure it could ever happen. And when I got the call, Rich, it was, as you can imagine, my call was to my wife and the mooch. Those were my next 2 calls, and it was just a moment in time when you kind of got to reflect back on everybody that helped you get here. And I got a ton of people that helped me get here.
And so, Mariucci's hopping a flight after our season kickoff show tomorrow night. He's hopping a flight to go be in Springfield, Mass. with you. Who is introducing you at the
at
hall?
Ours, they don't have an introduction. They have a presenter. You can just go up with. Gary Williams is doing it, and it was going to be Magic, but he's out of the country for a month. So it's going to be Gary Williams, who's a good friend and a guy that I went to Kuwait with, and so that's going to be a happening. It's a little different than the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which, as you know, they actually have people introduce you. Here, it's they present you, and somebody else does the introduction.
Yeah, and Shaq's got 4. Shaq went ahead.
I know.
What's up with that?
I said if I was as tall as Shaq, I'd probably need 4 guys.
Yeah. So, but Gary Williams, let's delve into that a little bit more, because I don't think fans of yours and people who just watch what you do and I guess pay attention to what you do would even think that Gary Williams would be your choice.
Well, there's a couple things. Number one, in ours you have to be a Hall of Famer to be a presenter, and so that was one part of it. And you're trying to get somebody that's going to be there, and unlike professional athletes, which most of those guys are, who've either played with guys that are in it or been coached by guys that are in it with the coaches, it's a little different, And Michigan State's one guy in the hall is Magic, and he's not there. And so Gary was a guy that, like I said, I went to Kuwait with him and spent some time with our troops 7, 8 years ago, and it was a pretty neat experience. We went against each other in the NCAA tournament in some memorable games and remained friends. So I think that tells you a little bit.
Tom Izzo joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show on the eve of his induction. It happens this weekend here on the Rich Eisen Show. We're going to be talking about this throughout the week, obviously. And so, Coach, I mean, when you go in, when you look at your career, what stands out? What will you be going through your mind memory-wise as you go into the hall?
Yeah, I think all the players that have helped me get here will be going through my mind. Of course, my father, who I lost in December, will be one that wish he could be here, but my mother will be able to be there. So your family, wife, kids are definitely some, and then all the coaches that have kind of helped me. When you're a coach and you get into the hall, it's because of the players and the other coaches. When you're a player and you get into the hall, it's a lot of times because of the job you did. I need people to help me make baskets and get rebounds because I don't get to do that.
Mm-hmm. And so if Mariucci had walked up to you in the huddle at Iron Mountain, Michigan, many, many years ago when you went out and lost the coin toss because Mariucci always blamed you for choosing incorrectly on the coin toss. And if he had,
yes, you know him well.
If he had told you, hey, one day you're going to go into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame as one of the best coaches in the history of the sport of basketball, what would you have said at that time?
Well, I knew he wasn't a drinker then, but I would ask him if he was engaging in some substance abuse or something. It wasn't something that him or I ever talked about. We did talk about winning championships. We did talk about, getting places, but this was one that neither one of us ever mentioned. And I'm so excited that he's going to be able to get there. I mean, he's flying all night, getting there at 9 in the morning, and flying out because you guys got work too. So I'm I'm so thrilled that he gets to be a part of it. That means the world to me.
And so, which of your players has reached out to you? Who have you heard from? Have you heard from Draymond, for instance?
Yeah, Draymond's coming.
He's coming. Who else is coming?
Yeah, I think Steve Smith is. It's kind of hard for some of them, but there are some players that are coming, and there'll be a lot of my former assistants are coming that I know of, and I don't really know everybody who's coming. But I know Mariucci will be there in my family, and that's kind of really important to me right now.
Sure. And Mariucci just tears up when he talks about it, but I'm sure that's not any surprise. I mentioned it to him last night. Try to get him to come here and surprise you on the phone, but he's too busy doing NFL Network work today, Tom. But it just.
I mean, he does work. He still works, huh?
Well, yeah. He does, and he does, when he works, I look at his calendar and he color codes his calendar.
Yeah, I know.
You know that, and so his work days are green days, and I'm wondering, okay, is that for Michigan State? He goes, no, that's for money.
You got to love him for that.
I know. He's prepared.
Did he learn that from you or not?
No, for all coaches, no doubt about that. Do you think at all about road not taken sometimes, Coach? And for instance, obviously the NBA opportunity that could have been there for you in Cleveland. Maybe you would have been working for Michigan State honk Dan Gilbert had LeBron stuck around in time for you to make a decision.
I don't look back at different opportunities I've had. I really don't. I kind of appreciate where I am, and I'm not one of those guys that, I wish I would have done this and wish I would have done that. I mean, I made my bed. I'm going to sleep in it, and I like where I'm at. I like what I'm doing. But I guess once in a while you say, what would it be like there? Steve and I talk about that a lot. His career kind of went exact opposite of mine. He kind of went almost directly to the league, and I took the other route. He moved around 14 times, and I stayed put. And yet it's worked for both of us. And so I don't have many regrets about that stuff. Once in a while a question mark, or if a player gets in trouble or you lose a recruit, you kind of say, boy, the NBA sounds better. And then you watch some of things that go on there, and you say, college sounds better. And then you come to realize anytime you make decent money or in a decent position, there's going to be pressure, and there's going to be problems, and you just got to learn to deal with them.
How close were you? If LeBron had made a decision, if he had told Jim Gray he wasn't taking his talents to South Beach before your decision, would that have altered, you think, the future in a way?
I say no, but if I was to be honest, I guess I'd question that. I mean, if it would have been the week before and he would have stayed, would that have mattered? Anytime you get a chance to coach the greatest player who was playing at the time, I'm sure it would have had some impact. But I also, I like what I do. I like the fact I think I can impact more people here. I like going to graduations and football games. I like the things that the college atmosphere brings, and that's why I've kind of stuck with it.
All right, last question for you, Coach. Tom Izzo, Michigan State head coach here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm asking you as a coach and a friend, okay? Not as a Michigan State guy, as a coach and a friend.
Yeah.
On the night that Mariucci's hopping a flight to go see you, I am hopping a flight to go to Ann Arbor and be the honorary captain as invited by Jim Harbaugh for Michigan versus Central Florida this week, and I have to address the team. Do you have any tips for me to address the team and what I should say?
Wow, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
But that's a heck of an honor, and I'm proud of you for that honor.
Thank you.
That's great. It really is, and I salute Jim for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think anytime we can bring back our former celebrities, meaning people that have come to our school and gone on to greatness themselves, I think it's a great motivational tool. So if you were coming to East Lansing,
mm-hmm.
I'd sit down and maybe have a pop with you and talk to you about it. But I don't know if I have any. It's hard to motivate Michigan right now. I don't know if I should motivate them, but I think I would tell him not to turn the ball over because I don't think Jim likes turnovers.
No, okay, but just speak from the heart. I mean, what? I mean,
yeah.
what?
Speak from the heart and speak from the success you've had.
Okay.
Because I think you're going to find out that I don't care if you're in athletics and TV or in business, it's all the same. people with passion are successful. And I say this with great reverence, but Steve talks about your passion all the time when he was working with you on a regular basis. And I think successful people have that, whether it's a football player, whether it's somebody in the media, whether it's a businessman. So I would go with that. It's been successful for you.
Thank you. Well, I kind of buried the lead. My main problem is that last week's honorary captain was Michael Jordan, and next week's is Tom Brady, and I'm right there in the middle. Coach.
Are you really?
Yes, that's the problem.
That's sandwiched in there. That's like being the horse's legs. And Brady and Jordan are the horse's legs, and guess where you are?
Coach, I couldn't be more excited for you, happy for you, thrilled for you. I can't wait to watch your speech. I can't wait to watch Mariucci tearing up watching you give your speech with you and your family. It's so well deserved, and I'm thrilled to be able to share it with you on such a special week.
Well, you know what, Rich? I appreciate it. And this morning I got a chance to see the rings, and they're incredible. And Zales has done a great job with that, and I'm looking forward to wearing it, to be honest with you. And maybe I'll let Mariucci wear it for a minute, and then he can take a picture and show you.
I look forward to that picture. Thanks, Coach. Have a great weekend.
This weekend to you.
Thank you. Same to you. Have a great one.
All right,
you deserve it. Soak it in.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.